Another day goes by, another relationship post ends up going viral. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a crazy story over on X, and then we're going to take a look at a bunch of replies to it. I'm going to give my thoughts, and as always, I'd love to know what you think about it down below afterwards. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. Hey, if you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with many YouTube channels. Guys, let me take you over to this post over here that has been getting a ton of views. How do I explain to my husband that I was drunk and joking with my girlfriends on the phone when I said, at least he satisfies me financially, even if I can't say the same for the bedroom, you can't win every time, and he overheard it. I'll start by saying I love my husband with my whole heart. He's kind, hardworking, and has always treated me like a queen. But now, thanks to my drunken mouth, I might have completely wrecked that image for him. So, there's a lot we can break down about that, but we're going to continue on with the story because it is quite lengthy. It happened last night during our regular girls' night call. My best friends Amanda and Rachel, not real names of course, know everything about me. They've been there through thick and thin, and like most close friends, we sometimes talk about our marriages, the good, the bad, and the embarrassing. Last night, fueled by a couple of drinks, the conversation turned to husbands. Rachel started joking about her husband leaving dirty laundry next to the hamper, and Amanda chimed in about how hers couldn't change a light bulb without a 20-minute YouTube tutorial. It was all in good fun, so when they teased me, asking if Jake had any flaws, I said, well, at least he satisfies me financially, even if I can't say the same for the bedroom. You can't win any time, right? It was a dumb, thoughtless joke. I was laughing as I said it. They were laughing too, but then I heard it. A sharp intake from a breath of the hallway. My stomach dropped. I turned around, and there was my husband, standing frozen in the doorway with this look in his face I will never forget. He didn't say a word, just turned around and walked to the bedroom. I was sober in an instant. Immediately, I dropped the call and chased after him, calling him. He just ignored me and went to the guest bedroom and slammed the door in my face. This morning, he left for work early. No coffee, no kiss goodbye, just a brief see you later. He didn't even look at me. Normally, he would send a love note once he arrives at the office. I didn't say anything this morning, just silence. Now I'm sitting here replaying the whole thing in my head, trying to figure out how to fix this. I didn't mean it, not even a tiny bit, but the truth is, my husband and I have a great relationship, and yes, our sex life isn't the wild, passionate thing it was when we were 25, but it's still good. More than good. It's real, intimate, and meaningful. But how do I explain that to him? How do I make him believe that one stupid drunken joke doesn't reflect how I actually feel? I tried texting him around noon. My love, can we please talk tonight? I love you. He read it and didn't respond. I had made his favorite food, cleaned up properly, even dressed the way he liked. Normally, when he sees me like this, even when he's mad at me, he would joke and laugh, and we would mend fences. But at this time, when he got home, I was ready to grovel. But he just said he wasn't hungry. He just grabbed a beer, sat on the couch, and turned on the TV. I stood there awkwardly, waiting for an opening, before finally blurting out, "My love, I'm sorry." He muted the TV and looked at me, his expression guarded. For what? I felt the tears welling up. For what I said last night. You weren't supposed to hear that, and it was a stupid joke. I didn't mean it. His jaw tightened. It didn't sound like a joke. It was, I said, desperate now. I was drunk, and the girls and I were just being silly. I swear, my love, I don't feel that way. You are everything to me. He was silent for a long time, staring at the floor. Finally, he said, do you even realize how that sounded? Like I'm just some paycheck to you. Like I'm not enough. Hearing the hurt in his voice broke me. You're more than enough, I whispered. You've always been more than enough. I don't know why I said that. It wasn't true. It was a dumb, thoughtless thing to say, and I hate that it hurt you. He nodded slowly, but I could see he wasn't ready to let go. It's really hard to forget something like that. Do you know the kind of impression your friends now have of me? I'll do whatever it takes to prove how much I love you, I said. Please, my love, don't let one stupid comment undo everything we've built. It's been a couple of days now, and things are tense. He's not ignoring me, but he's still distant. I've tried giving him space while also reminding him how much he means to me. Little gestures like cooking his favorite meals and leaving notes in his lunch. I don't know how long it'll take for him to fully believe me again, but I'm not giving up. I just hope he knows that one dumb joke doesn't define how I feel about him. What else can I do? How can I fix this? I'm very open to advice because I can't stand the thought of losing the best thing that's ever happened to me over one drunken mistake. Well, there's actually a ton we can break down, okay? You know what? We're actually going to go to the top and break this down step by step, and it's important to note this was not this person's story. He did end up posting that, and stuff like this could be rage bait. I'm well aware of that, and the problem is, and the reason that I wanted to take a look at this is, first of all, every metric on YouTube shows me that so far the audience on this channel does like the relationship topics, which I really, really appreciate, by the way. And things like this absolutely exist in real life, even if this original one is not exactly like this person's story or if it was rage bait or whatever, but we're going to break it down from the very top, okay? How do I explain to my husband that I was drunk, joking my girlfriends on the phone when he said this? Drunk, I can't remember the exact quote, but there is a very, very famous quote where it is like, drunk words are sober thoughts, something along those lines. It's oftentimes true. You were just more open to saying it. I'll start by saying I love my husband with my whole heart. He's kind, hardworking, always treated me like a queen. But now, thanks to my drunken mouth, again, blaming it on the alcohol and not blaming it on how she's feeling or blaming it on her in general. It's always the alcohol. It's not me. It's the problem. I drank too much. This is something that you see very, very commonly, okay? Happened to me last night during our regular girls' nights call. You can stop there. It rarely ends up being anything good, right? When girls start talking about boys and they start talking about relationships, when they start talking about their husbands, oftentimes it ends to just bashing them, right? Sometimes talk about our marriages, the good, the bad, and the embarrassing. This should be private information, and this is what's wrong with the world is if you're a guy watching this video, how often do you talk about like the actual intimacy of your partner to your friends? Or even then, how often do you talk about like something that's a little bit more than just what you did today or any plans that you might have? You don't talk about like the deep talks that you have. You don't talk about your partner's body parts. And this is a very, very common practice for girls, and it just breeds issues. This should be private information, and I hate the fact that, and I don't know if this is one of the things where I always talk about like, okay, the world's changing, the world's different, and I hate the way that it's going, but I don't know if this has always been a thing for girls. I just know it's been like that for the past decade or so. Before that, I actually don't know. Last night, fueled by a couple drinks, again, blaming it on the alcohol, the conversation turned to husbands that would have went there anyways. Rachel started not joking about her husband leaving dirty laundry next to the hamper, complaining. She wasn't joking a little bit. Amanda chimed in about how hers couldn't change a light bulb without a 20-minute YouTube tutorial. She looks at him like he's a pathetic loser who can't change a light bulb. It's not a joke. It was not all in good fun. So when they teased me asking if Jake had any flaws, I said, well, at least he satisfies me financially, even if I can't say the same for the bedroom. You can't win any time, right? First of all, why would you say this with your husband in the house? And why would you choose a partner that you would say this about? That is beyond horrible. Like, you know what? He might not be the best in the bedroom, but that's stuff you can work on. I don't know about you guys, but if you've been in a relationship for a long time, you end up learning your partner. You end up figuring out what each other likes and dislikes, and you can actually get better at it. So the sex life actually probably isn't that accurate. Excuse me, I meant to say it probably wasn't that often, and I question the passion, to be honest with you. It was a dumb, thoughtless joke. Not true. I was laughing as I said it. Yeah, you were laughing at your husband. You didn't think that he was wrong. They were laughing too, but then I heard it. There you go. And I believe like this would be the reaction to any other man. He just didn't say a word, just turn around and walk to the bedroom. Like, what can he say? If he freaks out on you, that's not going to go too well, right? This morning he left for work early. Obviously, he didn't all want to see you. Why would he give you a kiss goodbye? Why would he see you later? But the problem is, and this is where I receive a little bit of pushback from my viewpoints, as much as he probably now hates her, I don't support living like the rest of your life flat out ignoring somebody. And I don't know if like these people end up having children or something. If they have children, I think they should just suck it up. I think the only time that you leave a marriage is when there's actual like harm involved. And I know that you could talk about like emotional harm and all that, but other than that, this dude should just take off. Why is he just being silent? But then again, that might be the best play, right? Because what's he going to say? He's going to argue about it, and then she's still going to blame it on the alcohol, and it wasn't her fault, this and that, right? And she knows how wrong she was, but she's still not admitting fault while looking like that she's admitting fault, right? And he probably knows this, and he's probably just staying silent for that reason. Plus, what can you say? The damage has been done. Just like we took a look at another video. Once you break a man, there is absolutely no fixing it. How do I explain that to him? How do I make him believe that one stupid drunken joke, again blaming it on the alcohol, doesn't reflect how I actually feel? It absolutely is exactly how you feel. That's exactly how you feel, and anybody with a proper functioning brain and a little common sense can tell that, right? And this doesn't fix it as well. I'd made his favorite food, cleaned up properly, even dressed the way that he liked. That doesn't fix it. There is no fixing it at all. And I don't even know, to be honest with you, like, if this is accurate, assuming that this is a true story, before finally blurting out, "My love, I'm sorry." No, she would have gotten angry at that point, 100%. If it lasted that long, she would have just gotten angry and found a way to play the victim, because if you've ever if you've ever dealt with any sort of relationship, you would know that that is exactly what's going to happen. It wasn't a joke at all. So, drunk words, sober thoughts. It's been a quote since the beginning of time. He was silent for a long time, staring at the floor, finally said, "Do you even realize how that sounded? Yep, I'm not just some paycheck to you, like I'm not enough." And it's true. Hearing the hurt in his voice broke me. No, what broke you was getting caught that you were making fun of your husband. He wasn't ready to let it go. It's really hard to forget something like that. Do you know what kind of impression your friends now have of me? And I personally don't really, but the problem is, it's not that I would care that they would look at me like I can't have sex, right? I'm not a capable partner in the bedroom. I would be upset because then they would look down upon that guy, like make him look like a weaker man, and then they're going to actively sabotage the relationship more because that's already what they were doing, drinking together, having girls call, and they were probably trying to do something along those lines when talking about and not making jokes, talking about how inadequate their husbands are. I'll do whatever it takes to prove how much I love you, I said. And yeah, this is the thing where it makes you feel like that this post is bait, right? Because this conversation would not have taken place. You would not have said that. And if you've ever been in a relationship too, and somebody is admitting to this much fault, you know that that's not the full story. What else can I do? How can I fix this? I'm open to any advice because I can't stand the thought of losing the best thing that's ever happened to me over one drunken mistake. Drunken again. There you go. Unbelievable, man. But it's not just about what I think over here. I think that once you damage a man like that, you are as good as doomed. But let's take a look at what everybody in the replies had to say about this story. And guys, if you're enjoying the video so far, please hit like and subscribe. Thank you very, very much for being here. That's why the Bible says not to gossip and never tell anyone else the inner secrets or workings of your marriage. That is sacred and not for anyone else to hear. Even if you're not religious, that seems to just be common sense. I have absolutely no desire to talk about and thankfully I lucked out. I'm in a very, very healthy relationship. I wouldn't even think to talk about, if I was upset with my wife, just to yap to my friends about it and complain about it and make fun of her. You know, I don't get why that's a thing. Marriage is no longer a public or a private thing. It's all public now. Maybe respect your spouse enough to not lie or make jokes about something you know would hurt his feelings. Sounds like you tried to one up your friends with a flaw and you forgot your friends don't matter in relation to your spouse. I don't think that she forgot. I think that she just didn't care and just wildly blurted out something and just imagined that he wasn't going to hear it. Imagine if it was reversed and he was making a joke about a performance in the bedroom with his friends. Yep, exactly. There's really no excuse to insult your partner behind their back. Yeah, and I am somebody who is always like, hey, you can fix this, get through this. I know the common dating advice is to just break up with your partner. I know it's a very, very common thing, but I often push back about that. But when you break someone to this extent, there's no repairing that dude. Absolutely not. He will never look at you the same. Drunken girl nights are made to destroy relationships because modern women hate stable, happy relationships, especially when others have that. Change my mind. YouTube, I'm very grateful to be on this platform, and I will say that this is disgusting. How could you possibly assume that about somebody? That is not accurate. That is not the case one little bit. Is this person seriously suggesting that girls don't like to see each other in happy relationships? Because that's totally not the case. That would never be the case one little bit. Okay, let's continue on. Real ladies don't get drunk. Oh, you should own up to your actions and apologize. Maybe rethink of what kind of friends you have and stop drinking to get drunk. This is what a responsible, strong woman would do, in my opinion. I don't see an issue with drinking here and there, but I mean, it is a little a little much if you're just having a girls' nights call. What did she end up saying it was weekly or something? Let me see. Let me go back to the top of this post over here, okay? Where was it? My girlfriend's on the phone. I thought I saw something about, during our regular girls' night call. So regular, and I don't know. I would assume that you're getting drunk through that. If that's the case, then I think it's a little too much to just get drunk, have some drinks on a phone call. But I don't see an issue with drinking here and there. But yeah, you definitely have to tone it down if you have a little bit of an issue. I need to understand the brand of woman who disses her husband even as a joke. Weird behavior. Yeah, I agree with that. I do nothing but speak about my partner positively. And I'm thankfully I'm in a place where I want to do that, and those are my true feelings. But even if, those relationship issues should be kept private, man. Let's continue on, though. Only God and your mom cares about you. Time does not heal anything. You learn how to live with it. No one is coming to save you but yourself. Nothing gets easier. You grow stronger. If you control your lust, you can achieve anything you set your mind to. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And I do agree with this. Why not dads? But I mean, there are dads that aren't as active in people's lives, but your mom gave birth to you. Your mom has a special bond to you that your dad will never understand, and your mom will unconditionally care about you, even if you become a piece of crap, probably, to be honest with you. So that I do agree with. I think that's some pretty good life advice in general. Let's continue on. It's only a joke because you got caught. Yes. You meant it and felt it, or it wouldn't be a thought. Truth is now the bedroom life is ruined. He will always think about that. So honestly, time for a divorce. And I hate all right, we're going to cut it right there. Time to get a divorce. I hate how that's always the suggestion, but unfortunately, in a case like this, it's never in a million years going to be repaired. From a man's perspective, he will never look at you the same during intimacy and won't even put any more effort. You'll be lucky if he even initiates. I disagree with that. Like the last part, I mean, like, he'll probably initiate either way, but he definitely won't feel good about himself. He'll probably only initiate when he's, like, at to the point. This is assuming that he doesn't take care of himself, which he might do, but a lot of guys don't exactly have control over their urges in that sense. So he might actually initiate some intimacy, but then he won't feel so good about himself. And believe me, no matter how good you end up making that first time for him, no matter how much you are doing everything in the world that he likes in the bedroom, he is never going to forget that, and that will never in a million years be erased. Drunk words are just sober thoughts. Exactly. Maybe talk to your husband about it instead of being a toxic gossip. True, but even if, like, he can forgive you, he can continue on the relationship, but this is something that a guy will never forget. And like we spoke about in another video, once you break a man, there is absolutely no repairing it. He will remember this for the rest of his life, and he will probably carry this into his next relationship, because I do not see this lasting all of that too much. You know what's perfect for that? Speaking of breaking up with girls, because I did make a tier list talking about how to move on and the best possible ways to move on from a girl after a breakup. I'd love to have you guys over in this video right here. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.